skills a man needs in his life, because in order to be and feel strong, you need these skills. One of those is knowing how to fight. I've been doing jiu-jitsu for the better part of 2.5 years. I've never been in an actual physical altercation in my life. But as I get older, as I see the world, I was living in San Francisco and Oakland for the better part of 4 years. I just saw things that I was like, you never know. The first time, second time actually, I went to San Francisco. I just remember a homeless man just coming up to me, like coming this close to my face. I was standing, I was calm, I was ready to fight, but at the time I did not know how. And now with jiu-jitsu and some MMA classes that I've taken, I think I can pretty much handle myself in a normal street fight. Obviously, I would do everything in my power to avoid it, because you never know, you can easily be hurt. But just knowing how to fight is important as a man, because you never know when you're going to protect your family, your partner, and yourself. So knowing how to fight is the first skill every man should know. The second skill a man should know is emotional intelligence. Listen, just because you're a man and they show like anger and warriors and all that stuff in movies, and like anger is good in certain situations. But as a man, having emotional intelligence, being calm, understanding when to use those emotions, diverting those emotions energetically to other things. Just because you're angry doesn't mean you should shout and yell. That is a dark form of the masculine. That's a dark form of that particular energy within us. Now, when you understand emotional intelligence, you can divert that emotion differently. You can explain why that emotion is coming up to yourself logically. So instead of being activated in your reptile brain, which is back here, and it's the most natural part of us, we utilize the frontal lobe to think logically through the emotions that we're feeling, and then from there take action. I'm feeling anger. What should I do in this situation? I'm feeling sadness. What should I do in this situation? I'm feeling X. What should I do in this situation? And some of that includes asking others for help, which I know is very difficult for a man. That's why you have male friendships. Maybe you don't want to ask for help from your partner or another woman in your life, and that's okay. This is why you need to build a band of brotherhood, but you can only do that through having some emotional intelligence. In order to build a relationship, a really deep relationship, there needs to be some form of vulnerability, right? So emotional intelligence will allow that for you to talk about your feelings in a logical way. So just talking about feelings is not only for women, it's not completely feminine. It is also very masculine to understand those aspects of yourself and to utilize them in the best form possible. A big one that we should all learn is discipline. This is something that I really started to pick up in 2019, where my fitness really started to take its next level in its journey. Especially with the pandemic, there was no more going to classes like I was in certain gyms. Instead, I had to figure it out on my own, which probably some of you had to do that. And I had to work out at home, utilizing body weight, utilizing bands. I eventually bought a kettlebell and started utilizing that. I eventually got a steel mace for Christmas. I started utilizing that. I started going out for runs just to take care of my body. I had to build the discipline. That showcases the way you do one thing is the way you do everything. So if you're doing it well in one area, you're gonna more likely do it the same way in other areas. At work, with your relationship, you will be disciplined, because you need discipline as a man in order to keep your word, right? If you say you're in a relationship and you are not going to be, you're going to be faithful, you're not going to be out there hoeing around, you're going to be a man of your word, you're going to be disciplined, you're naturally a man, biologically a man, you're going to be attracted to other women, you're going to want them, and that's just the truth, that unfortunate truth that most people don't want to hear. As a man, you have the discipline to hold that in, to rein it in, and again, like we talked about earlier, utilize that energy and force into something else. Utilize it into your relationship, utilize it into your work. It's kind of transmuting it into something else. It's a beautiful thing once you learn how to do it. These two tie in together. One is, I've always said, be kind and dangerous, but also assertive. When I mean dangerous, I'm not talking about like, someone will get on your backside and they die and get killed. No, it's being assertive, understanding that yes, you're kind, you're a nice person, people understand that, but you know your boundaries. You know when to be assertive and to say no, and you know when someone's going too far with something, you know to say, stop that shit. Put the line right there. You're not gonna do that anymore. Not with me. Explain why. Do you understand? Right? Sometimes, and this is the truth, you have to talk to other people like they're children. Because some people are still children as they get older. They don't learn how to grow up. So these two together, as a man, are vital. Being assertive and knowing when to be kind and knowing when to activate that dangerous side. I like how Jason Wilson put it in his documentary, The Cave of Angelum. He said, sometimes you have to turn into the lion and turn back into the lamb. You turn into the lion, you switch it on for a minute so people can see, but you don't harm anyone, right? You turn back into the lamb. It's very much a Bible reference. Overall, as a man, you are strong. You have strength. This is why we go to the gym. This is why we get strong and build a body so that, God forbid, you never know when the day is going to come when you have to pick up a brother and take him somewhere to a hospital or whatever. That day will come one day. You don't know whether you're in the army, in the military, and you probably will have to do that in a war situation, or your friend calls you because they're having heart problems and maybe they have to go to the hospital because of that, and they can't walk or they can't move or everything hurts, and your job is to pick them up. So get as strong as being able to pick up another body, another man's body, up to 200 pounds. Deadlift, squat that, be able to put it on your back and walk with it. Whatever you can to build up that strength, do it. Because you never know when that day is going to come where you may have to lift someone, another human being, and carry them for a while. Right? Learn how to do that. Trust me, it's important. But I also think as a man, you should be an artist, a creator. You literally create. Think of it this way. When a woman and a man get together, we're gonna go to the basics here. You ejaculate. That ejaculation creates life. So deep down at the base of everything, foundationally, we are all creators. And men, you are a creator, and you need to utilize that creative force in some shape or form. Whether that's creating videos, whether that's painting, whether that's making music, so many different pieces of art. Whether maybe you teach, create art at work. There's so many different ways. There's much more, but I don't want to keep this video too long. But last thing I'll say, and it kind of encapsulate a little bit of everything, is be a warrior in a garden, not a gardener in a war. And that's knowing how to be, that's showing you two things. You know how to be dangerous, have strength, being able to take someone's life, which you will never do. It's like be a monster, but learn how to tame it. But on the other side, you can cater, you can bring life, right? That's what a gardener does. They bring life into earth. And you're able to do that. So not only can you have destruction and chaos, which exists on this side, but you can have order, beauty, creation on this side. And a true man is right in the middle. They know how to be both. Whatever you're doing, learn how to be both. If I missed anything on this list, comment below. And until tomorrow.